Mario's back, fools, and today we're gonna look at his new game, Super Mario Odyssey. Warning, there's gonna be some early plot spoilers in this video, so if you don't want to see anything, then just click back now. The last 3D Mario game we got was Super Mario 3D World for the Wii U in November of 2013. Now, it's been almost 4 years, and here we are on the Switch. So our adventure begins, as per the usual, with Bowser kidnapping Peach. This time, Bowser's attempting to marry Peach again, when Mario is thrown off the ship by Bowser. This is how the game starts, and there's nothing I'm leaving out. It starts right in the middle of the action, just in time for Mario to get thrown off. When he wakes up, he's in this mysterious, ominous land. Oh yeah, and I guess there's some hat thing. I don't know, it's no big deal. The place Mario woke up in is basically just a tutorial level. You get to learn the controls, which this time around makes use of Mario's new hat. And it's actually essential that you learn how to control it, because it's a very big part of the game. Obviously, that's why it's in about every single promotional ad for the game so far. Later in the level, you discover one of Mario's most unique abilities that he can perform with his new hat. He can, quote, capture enemies. Like this poor little Froggo. Oh, well, I guess he's fine. Oh. I mean, that's a thing frogs can do in real life. Anyway, once you do all your frog platforming, you get to the top of the tower, and you see some more hat people, and their ships that have been destroyed by Bowser, like the ones we saw earlier in the level. On the very top of the tower, you run into the Broodals. Oh, and I just now realized as I'm recording this, that Broodal it stands for breakfast. The Broodals basically replace the Koopalings, and they fulfill the same role, except they talk like Meowth from the Pokemon anime. Honestly though, I way prefer the Koopalings over them, because there's just something unsettling about these freaky white pale rabbits. Especially the one on the left. The one that looks sort of like the Joker, if the Joker was actually creepy. What's his name? Oh, Spooert. That's his name. Okay, Spooert is his real canon name, apparently. Then, after some brief dialogue, you fight Topper. Topper is the one that looks like Humpty Dumpty combined with a leprechaun. Well, Humpty Dumpty combined with a leprechaun combined with a rabbit. Because just Humpty Dumpty and a leprechaun combined would... I don't know. It'd be an egg with an Irish beard, I guess. Anyway, after an easy fight with Topper, you run into this little pole thing and you turn into Electricity Mario. And then, your adventure begins. Sort of. So you're forced to go to Cascade Falls, which is another sort of tutorial level, except here you face some real enemies, which you can capture, and you get to collect your first moon. Moons basically just replace stars. And this is when you start to notice that this game is a lot like Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy 1 and 2 all rolled into one. And you'd be right if you said that, but we'll get back to that later. So a bit further into the level, and you find Mario's spaceship. Wait, is it Space Hat? The Odyssey. You need 6 moons to power it to get out of Cascade Falls. The moons are scattered around the level. Now this is a good time to mention a new mechanic. To get a certain moon in this level, you have to turn into Retro Mario. Now you best not be getting any crazy ideas for Retro Mario, because he's confined to the walls. You can only become Retro Mario at certain areas and you have to go through pipes. And then you're stuck in the wall in a little side-scrolling 2D section. Sometimes there are moons hidden here, but other times they're just for getting up high walls that you normally couldn't scale. But it's a cool mechanic nonetheless. After you collect 6 moons, the Odyssey can finally fly, and then that's when the adventure really begins. Because you're now on your own, figuratively of course. There's an easy mode for reviewers to use. Or people that can't beat a Mario game, for some reason. Once you regain control of the Odyssey, you'll head to the Sand Kingdom, and this is where I stop spoiling the game for you, and start to talk about it. So earlier, I briefly mentioned that this game is like Super Mario 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy all rolled into one. While it is quite reminiscent of those games, it can still stand out on its own, and does. If you've watched or read any reviews about Odyssey, then you've probably heard what I said about it being like 64, Sunshine, and Galaxy. While this isn't a full review because I haven't played through the game all the way, I'm at least going to go in depth so you get your money's worth. It's like Galaxy because it has this amazing sense of innovation and a new, different perspective on the old classic Mario formula. It's like Sunshine in the way that when you get new moons, it causes new things to happen. Like the way Sunshine has episodes instead of singular stars like Super Mario Galaxy or 64. And it has Sunshine's level design in the way that Sunshine was built around the Floods mechanics, and this game is built around Cappy's mechanics. And it has 64's large open level feel. Well, I mean, I guess it's not a feel. For a Mario game, the levels are pretty big, actually. And it also has the way you jump from level to level, collecting moons, shines, or stars, which was reused in Galaxy and Sunshine. And while we're on the topic of 64, its controls are very similar to those in Super Mario 64. In Odyssey, it gives you the long jump, the triple jump, and the awesome side jump thing, whatever it's called. It's pretty awesome. And they improved on the triple jump, making it easier to do even if you're not going at such a high speed. And it also has this weird roll mechanic, which is like the belly slide thing from Sunshine. I don't know what it's called. But overall, the game controls pretty well. Of course, with the exception of the water controls, which are kind of floaty. But this time around, there are 2 different water controls. One where Mario sinks to the bottom and can move around from there, and the other where he just swims on the top. The one where he swims on the bottom is similar to that in Bowser's Inside Story, where Bowser sinks to the bottom and he can press a button to swim up a bit. It's also, obviously, a very appealing game to the eye. The graphics are like Super Mario 3D World, except, of course, they're better being on the Switch's new hardware. One downside, if you call it a downside, is that there's not many power-ups. Other than Cappy, there's one little, speed rocket boost thing that's only used in, one specific spot in one certain level. But Cappy does give you a lot of variety, because there's pretty much new enemies in every level. So, if you call that a power-up, then there are quite a bit. Now, I'm not sure if this is good or bad, because I haven't played the whole game, or technically any of it. And from what I've seen, enemies are mostly exclusive to one certain level or quote world. Now this is where I'm conflicted. In Super Mario Galaxy 2, you find the Boo Mushroom and have to use it to get some stars. I love that mushroom, but I don't get to use it that much. What I'm saying is what if there's a cool enemy, but it's only in one small section of a zone? But the only reason I'm bringing this up really is because it's my only complaint so far. Again, I haven't played the game, but have you heard anything negative about it? The reason I can say with such certainty that it's gonna be an awesome game is because it's amazing to watch. When Ted was recording the footage, I sat there enthralled and watched the whole time until I had to go take a shower. It definitely looks like it's gonna be one of the top games this year. and probably one of the top games in the Switch's lifetime. It looks like there's going to be a lot to do for casual players, and if you're a completionist, I'm sure you're going to have a great time finding all the moons. I'm pretty sure there's about 500. Now this video isn't sponsored by Nintendo, but I'd pick up a copy if you haven't got one yet. And if you don't have a Switch, there's now a handful of good games on it, so if you've been waiting to get a Switch, I suggest that you get one now. In the wake of Super Mario Odyssey. It's Snuggie season, baby. Wow, Puff. Thanks. No, pause it. I hope you enjoyed this look at Mario Odyssey. Okay, go.
Did.
So I hope you enjoyed this look at Mario Odyssey, and if you do, tell me in the comments below. Don't ostracize me. I just want to know. This stupid channel has plateaued. I don't know what to do. So suggest anything, really. There's not much that I won't do. But of course, if you want to see whether or not I actually take your suggestions, you should probably subscribe. But I'm not going to tell you to do that.
Aww.